But last we played, you guys were still in the cart leaving Druvenlode after a very intense encounter there. Portally, you watched as your childhood home, the home that you had desperately wanted to get out of all your life, was now burning to the ground. And as you all traveled in the cart, drawn by four horses, it's, all of you, Lord Remem, the head servant Malin, and then the mother and daughter servants as well, that were along for the ride. You all quickly decided to ride as a decent bit away, a couple hours before you stopped to catch your breath and kind of decide what you wanted to do. In that time, Calda, you had a conversation with the bearer of the other piece of the ring, this presumably prince of the Dwendalian Empire, Idis Twindle. And he decided to make a deal with you, to which you accepted. That whoever found the third piece of the ring first would allow the other party a single wish out of presumably the three wishes you would receive. He assured you that his only desire was to um, save his people, save his nation. That is the wish that he would make. And as a show of good faith, he lended you some of his royal training, his expertise, the sword and armor training that he had received all his life, as most royalty do. And you were transformed. What stood before you was not a bard, but a stalwart fighter. As Calda was transformed into, I think you said samurai fighter, right?
Hmm?
Hell yeah. You guys continued on until eventually you came across a strange little checkpoint where there was a bridge that went over a small stream. Obviously, your cart would not be able to fit through the stream, but on the other side, there was a little bit of an encampment. And these roughed up looking Dwendalian soldiers approached you and demanded pretty much your cart and a lot of your belongings, quoting that they needed it for the war. Um, you all kind of got the feeling that something was off. Calda, through quick thinking, decided to hand over the alchemy jug. And they seemed very thankful for that and confused that you would hand over such a valuable thing, but they let you pass. And the alchemy jug was gone. Uh, um, later on, you guys traveled a little bit more, and in the night, you heard screaming, a woman's voice screaming for help as she was being chased. And upon investigation, you found this strange, like, badger, hyena, deer hybrid that was able to mimic voices. And I looked at Rune and Jakar and said, "Your trial starts now." As you were all ambushed by these several gnolls. And the fight was pretty decisive, you guys were pretty quick, especially Calda using her newfound abilities. Um, however, a little bit ways through it, you saw up on the hill there was a large gnoll man, arms crossed, watching with a medium-sized orcish woman next to him. And they spoke of Rune and Jakar, both of you, knowing that you had taken advantage of your blessings before. And as a totem was put on the field, the two of you were turned against your allies for a brief moment. To which Aglar basically said, "Calm the fuck down," and critted Jakar with a chromatic orb at like 48, something like that damage. It was fucking crazy. It was a second level chromatic orb. Um, but that snapped him out of it pretty quickly. But they basically told you all that if you were interested in furthering the blessing, as they called it, and learning more about it, getting more answers to the questions you had, you'd follow them to a place called Nature's End beyond Gwardan. I believe it was Lumen and Quarterly that rolled high history checks, which they
Yes.
they realized it was there were ruins that were called Sepeska, which obviously translates into nature's end. It is a place roughly in the same direction you guys were already traveling. That eventually you're gonna have to break off from Lord Remem because he's going all the way to the coast of Pomiflora. I believe I posted a picture of where you guys are and where you're traveling. You're basically traveling through a mountain pass with a large river that runs alongside of it. Um, Basically leaving the Dwendalian Empire and entering the territory of the Clovis Concord. But um, as those sort of questions were left in the air, you all jointly decided, since you were heading that way anyway, it would be good to investigate, as Shakar and Rune lost themselves pretty quickly and did a decent bit of damage, and Rune especially now looking even more changed as she has furthered along this seemingly inevitable transformation. She looks much more tiger-like, saber-tooth tiger-like, or saber cat, however you'd like to say it. To the point where she's no longer able to hide it. Her face has kind of elongated a bit, almost like a little bit of a snout. There's fur pretty much all along her body, and her eyes are completely changed. She no longer resembles an elf by any means. More a very strange tabaxi, if anything. But regardless, you guys were all traveling, and is there anybody doing anything after you take your long rest and begin to travel the next day?
Long rest sounds good because I was pretty hurt.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I was tapped.
Yes. It's also worth noting one thing I forgot to mention. Quarterly, you regain all of your hit points, and are able to regain hit points, as the sword that you were hit with, the sword of wounding, prevented you from regaining any sort of hit points via magical means. The one that Jakar now carries, one of the gnolls was wielding. But, you are back to normal now. Could have been pretty bad if you went down, because you imagine nobody would have been able to heal you. So.
Quick question. So last session, Lumen and Jakar wrote their name in my book, right?
Mhm.
Kalda didn't, I think. Rune didn't. Would Aguilar have wrote his name in my book?
In your book?
Yes, she
My
is.
ch-
She
in my-
holds. She's like she basically held out this like fiery, like shadow wreathed tome, and was like, "Sign your name in it, guys." Smiley face.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with no.
But I also gave you my Tusk Love book to sign, you know, just as like a memory. So did you sign that?
Aguilar, you would know
It's like-
Tusk Love is a very cheap kind of smut romance novel that's very popular.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I would have signed Tusk Love. I'll sign the smut book, but not the demon book.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, at least I have, you know, a
You
little
fool!
piece of
They're
memory.
one and the same.
Oh no!
They switched the covers.
Oh my god, you're giving me ideas. No. Okay, cool. I just wanted to know if you would have written it down or not. Then I still have one slot left. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. So you guys begin traveling, a little bit more on edge after that ambush in the night, and especially Jakar and Rune not knowing what is to come. But you all are traveling at this point pretty much out of the Dwendalian Empire's territory. Heading down towards the next town would be Tisoa, which is on the very edge of the Clovis Concord. As your carriage passes through, there's a bit of a brief moment of reprieve and just like a serene feeling as you look around and you enter this mountain pass, and it's pretty. I mean, there are cliff sides and jagged rocks, but in between the mountains on either side, there's just this kind of green expanse along a winding path that you're following, and a river that seems to bend and wind along with the path as well that this runs down. You do see at one point passing by you on your side, and they give a friendly wave. What looks to be a couple folks that are in like a small boat, like a canoe of sorts, and are traveling at a little bit faster of speed than you guys are, utilizing the river as they are just heading downstream, hanging out. Unfortunately, you are all in this carriage, so unless you abandon the carriage, you probably wouldn't be able to swap transportation methods. But
We'll float on the carriage, just throw it in the water.
do you like the old Red Dead Redemption glitch where you had to throw the carriage in the water and jump on top of it and like surf it?
Yeah. I was thinking like Oregon Trail status. You just kind of like take the wheels off and just hope for the best.
We ford the river. Dysentery again?
The Oregon Trail. I never played it, but it seems like a fun game.
And it sounds a lot like that D&D module you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. But eventually you guys get traveling along. You feel as though you're getting closer to your destination. You do see patrols of these armored individuals, not Righteous Brand, not Crown's Guard, not anybody of the Dwendalian Empire, but these what some of you would know to be called shore wardens. They are the military of the Clovis Concord, and normally they are not seen readily patrolling about. As the Clovis Concord is a neutral party, they usually don't have any means to deploy the military force. They usually use it, use their navy for dealing with pirates of the rivalry and things of that nature. But you do see a couple patrols of them around, as well as Zalezo patrols, which are the guardsmen of the Clovis Concord. Eventually, as you're getting closer to Tesoa, you see there has been a large checkpoint that has been set up with these shore wardens, completely barring off both the path and the river. And you even see some that are up in the mountains kind of trying to make sure nobody slips through. There, at the moment, there's nobody at the gate at this sort of checkpoint waiting to be processed. So they see your carriage, and all eyes are sort of on your group. As you hear a gruff voice kind of call out to you as you approach and says, it's like, by order of Marquis Tusilla Latu of Tesoa and the shore wardens of the Clovis Concord, state your business. You see this like heavily armored dwarf that is kind of looking over the little barricade here, demanding that you state what your business is.
The question is like, are we in the carriage, or is someone still sitting up on top, or how?
I mean, depends. Yeah, you would need at least one person to sit up on top to drive and control the horses. So
I think
who would be?
last time we decided that didn't Cordelie decide to like drive the horses and Calda was teaching her how to do it or something?
Yeah, that's what we did last week. I mean, are we doing that again, or is someone else doing that?
How would Cordelie feel about after being told what to do for a whole day?
As she hates it, she will never do it again.
Okay, then we're not doing that again. And
Okay,
pretty pissed about having to teach her for the whole day.
So I'll just say Lord, we'll say Malin, the head butler, is one of the people on the front. And we'll say Lumen is up there with him, I guess, for the hell of it. Malin kind of looks to Lumen for a second, just kind of seeing if he's about to speak. Unsure if he should answer or if your group wants to answer, but
Lumen looks to Lord Remand.
Oh, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Lumen looks to Lord Remand.
Oh,
He would be the best for this.
Lord Mem kind of steps out of the carriage slowly and smiles up at the dwarf and says, Greetings, I am Lord Rem of Druvenlode within the Dwendalian Empire. We are simply a group consisting of my daughter and some hired guards, as well as my staff, my retainers. We wish to pass through into the Clovis Concord and rid ourselves of the terrible war that has racked our home. Kind of, conducting himself in a way that he does. He's going to go ahead and roll a. He's going to go ahead and roll a persuasion check, which he's decent at. It's not the worst in the world.
That doesn't sound very promising, but okay.
It's not really promising. He rolled a 13. The dwarf kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "Indeed, we've had quite a bit of refugees come through here from the Empire. However, you'll need to submit to a search, both your carriage and your persons. Do you consent to such?" And Lord Mem kind of nods and looks back at all of you and says, "Well, we have nothing to hide, so of course we consent." And the dwarf kind of nods and says, "Everyone within the carriage, please step out.
Oh boy.
Line up in an orderly fashion in front of the carriage, please."
Do we have any drugs on us or anything? Anything to hide?
Oh. I don't
Along the
think
wall, F11.
F11. Oh my god.
F4.
God.
I know what I
No.
said.
Oh, that gave me PTSD.
I'm good. Got
I'll
nothing
try to
down
make
on it.
small talk with Stalker because it is my duty to give good roleplay on server. God. My head hurts just thinking of all that shit. Anyway.
Alright, I exit the carriage.
Same.
Yeah.
So, Stalker, what brings you to Rostock? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Stalker 2 is coming out soon. I'm going
November
straight to Rostock.
20th.
Oh, that will be nice. Good for them.
that'd be cool. Yes, I have an Xbox to play it, so I don't have to be hounding over my computer. I can just kind of sit on the couch and
Ooh,
enjoy.
it's also in EA Play, so you don't even have to buy the game.
Yeah, it's on. Is it on Game Pass? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I said EA Play.
Oh.
Sorry, yeah, Game Pass. That's what I meant.
I don't even have to buy it. I can just play it whenever I want.
Unpaid advertisement, YouTube.
Yes, Stalker 2, please endorse our D&D podcast, our D&D.
Well, did you realize with
video.
the new Amazon Fire Stick, you can play Xbox Game Pass games without even owning an Xbox? Oh, sorry.
What?
Whoa.
The guard slices Aglar's head off for fear of the unknown knowledge he is spelling. No, but the guards, you see quite a bit of these shore wardens. These soldiers come out. They have different gear to the soldiers you've seen within the Dwendalian Empire, but they are still soldiers. They conduct themselves very well. They're well disciplined. The dwarf comes out with them, and you see as one or two of the soldiers start to search the inside of the carriage, while the rest begin to search all of you. Let me ask you all, as you know you are being searched, is there anything in particular you are attempting to hide?
Calda's just being funny about people touching her loot. She's not letting people touch it, or if they find it, she's being overly motherly about it. Don't touch the strings. I just tuned it. Kind of hover
You
a
see it-
helicopter pair.
As you say that, they get a little bit more suspicious and they start to look. They're turning the loot to look inside, beyond the strings, and kind of shake it a
It's
little
a normal
bit to hear.
loot. It's just well made. Do you not appreciate the kind of quality that goes into making these things?
Lady,
I
you'd
swear.
be surprised. We've had people hide all sorts of contraband and all sorts of things, so we have to be thorough. We're not going to break your loot,
Okay.
trust me.
What kind of contraband are we talking here?
All sorts of things. And he's kind of doesn't really seem like he has the time to answer your thing as they continue on. Is there anything else anybody's trying to hide?
Maybe
Anything, but like as they search me, she will like stand T-posing basically, and then
Yeah.
when they get to her bag, she will like spread her wings really wide so they can see she doesn't hide anything.
They kind of recoil a little bit at the sudden thing, but nod and kind of thank you for doing that. They do it pretty thorough. They're not being invasive, but they are like patting you down and like typical like TSA shit. Basically, is what they're doing. Airport security shit.
Oh no, my water bottle.
Yeah, you can't bring this into town.
Sir, is this shampoo in a bottle? Your ass is grass, buddy.
I'm gonna struggle with the metal detector.
Yeah, the giant suit of armor. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
Let's see here.
Lumen's gonna try to hide the bloodied righteous brand corporal emblem.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Okay,
Might be a little
Go-
sauce.
go ahead and make me a stealth check.
4.
4.
Oh,
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
Let me see his soldier here.
It's
it's an
fine.
heirloom. It's an heirloom.
It's
Yeah,
an heirloom, a bloody
Yeah,
ass
he-
heirloom.
It's got a story and a +0 charisma, so we'll see.
They are technically patting you down, so it would be investigation, not perception, which they are worse at. He rolled really bad, but he still rolled higher than you, 6. As he kind of pats it down and kind of looks in the pack for a second, pulls it out. You taking war trophies now, boy?
I apologize. That belonged to my husband. Late husband, as you can imagine.
I think Cordelie would actually start laughing about that if she hears that.
Oh.
As
I'm
you
sorry.
as you hear that off the side, Cordelie starts to giggle at what you're saying, and the guard who initially looks to
Nice.
seem the guard who initially seemed to look like sympathetic looks over at Cordelie and then back to you and gives a little bit more of a serious glance. Go ahead and make a deception check with disadvantage because of what Cordelie did.
She would say that tickles.
Don't need it.
That tickles.
Damn it! Whoa.
I mean that's decent. 14.
14?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but that was genuinely funny. I feel like
He's gonna
Cordelie would have laughed
roll
about
an
that.
insight on you. Just for the hell of it here. Let's see what he rolls. Straight roll again. 9. As he kind of pauses, looks between you, hears Cordelie say that, looks back to you, and just kind of nods and says, "Yeah, I am sorry for your loss, then.
Haven't had a chance to clean it, running from all that bloodshed.
Understood."
Yeah.
So he continues to pat you down. You get to your sleeve. He stops. He sees the sleeve move, and he's like, "What?" He like, kind of like jumps back a little bit, puts a hand on his sword. He's like, what is that?"
Well, are we sticking with what we said last session? Is it just a chain?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right, sorry. That was my fault.
As long as you're rolling it like that,
No, yeah, because it would go back to a chain instead of a staff. It is a knee. It's
just
just
a
chains.
limp,
That's
just a
right.
limp chain.
Yeah.
around his arm.
There's one final thing that he would certainly take notice to. Do you have a holy symbol of Zahir?
Oh fuck! Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's why I kept asking everybody. I'm like, is anybody hiding anything?
Oh
okay.
no, I totally forgot.
No, that's okay.
I mean, Lumen would try to hide that. Like
Okay,
he's been
good.
doing that for years.
It is the same roll that he
Where's the
made
pocket?
because it is just one. He's just patting you down the whole time. But you can make a separate stealth check for that if you're trying to. Because you've already kind of tried to hide this and brought attention to the Dwendalian or the righteous brand
Yeah, he
emblem.
would-
So this is
he would
like a
have a
separate
more-
thing.
Yeah, he would have a
I
more.
have a question. If I can help Lumen somehow, because he showed that to me just a few nights ago, so I know that this could be bad, right? If someone sees it.
You would know that. I actually just looked up the laws of the Clovis Concord, and Lumen, you would absolutely know this. Public worship of betrayer gods can either lead to 10 days incarceration and/or a fine of 300 gold.
Oh no.
Okay, can I, while they're still searching me, I want to help Lumen. I don't know if you allow that.
Sure.
She's gonna be like, oh, you need to search here. When she realizes that Lumen gets a bit nervous, she's gonna rip her dress open.
Oh my god.
Like
Okay.
not naked, but like to her underwear, you know? Like
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
All right.
We're getting double fined.
Go
Public
ahead.
indecency.
Go ahead and roll me either a.
sorry. This is like
This
like
would
a
be
10 things
either-
I hate about you kind of situation.
This
you
would
know?
be either. I mean, this could fall under anything: persuasion, deception, or performance. One of those three, because you're either like putting on a display, or you're actively trying to deceive, or you're trying to be like, hey, look over here, like persuasion. Roll one of those. Your
Okay,
choice.
I'm gonna go with persuasion. That's a 23.
23.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing, Maddie. I was actually just looking to see if like there's anything for indecent exposure. There is not explicitly anything like that.
Matt Mercer really should have planned for that.
Yeah,
People
that you can have
stripping.
your titties out in the Clovis
Do you know-
Concord.
Scene in
Yeah.
like 10 things I hate about you, where she like lifts her shirt so the guy can get out of detention.
No,
Yeah.
I have no clue what you're talking about, but
Oh,
it
okay.
worked regardless. You hear, I imagine, a couple audible gasps from the group, especially your father, who like just goes like beet red and like looks like he just got hit by an attack as he staggers back a little bit and just looks like absolutely bewildered as he actively runs, like moves out of the search line, and the soldier like kind of like goes to grab him for a second. He walks over to you and like just takes his coat and like puts it over you, and he's like, "What in the hell is your problem? What are you doing?"
I'm
I will
just
say,
showing that I have nothing to hide.
I will say, Lumen, kind of going off of the distraction, that isn't just an auto success. You don't even need to roll with that. That is just like so much happening.
Aguilar's
so.
helmet
Incredible.
comes up. Just instinctively.
Yeah, Rude's just like beet red. She's like,
I want to see what I would have rolled.
Okay.
It would have been a 14. Probably not enough.
Still decent. It was like I said, I was going off of the same investigation check, so he rolled really low. But that's what.
Well, that works.
As that happens, the guard kind of looks to you, Cordelie, not really, instinctively looking at you, and obviously as you just like basically flash him, and then he kind of like collects himself for a second and like turns away a little bit, and he's like, you're good, you're fine, you're good to go. You can put that back on, please. It seems like utterly confused. You see the dwarf. The dwarf seems a little bit unfazed by this. He, as a matter of fact, he's kind of suspiciously looking. He is going to make an insight check real quick. Let's see here.
He's suspiciously
Are
respectful.
the other guards human or?
They are varying. There are some humans. Obviously there's the dwarf who seems to be in charge. There is one that seems to be a dragonborn. Oddly enough, they do not have a tail though, and there's another one that it looks like a half elf of sorts. Yeah, there's an interesting kind of combination here. But let me see real quick. There should be like a dwarf. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. That's good. Yeah, his wisdom is going to be another straight roll because he's not too terribly great at insight. Not high enough for your little display there, Corley. He rolled really high, but so he kind of looks between you and then looks around the group, and then he just goes, shakes his head. The rest of you, I imagine nobody else has anything crazy or illegal on them that would be out of the ordinary. Jakar, your terrifying looking hunting trap that you picked up a little while ago. They kind of look at that and look extremely confused as it's just covered in dry blood, but they just shake their head and put it back in your pack. Your weapons and everything are inspected, but after the display that Quarterly had put on, the dwarf kind of sighs and looks to the others and says, "Was there anything in the carriage out of the ordinary?" Two soldiers say at the same time, simultaneously. They're like, "No, sir." And he nods and says, "Understood. Well, you're all free to pass through. Welcome to the Clovis Concord. Hopefully it'll treat you better than the Empire did. Stay safe." And I imagine you all start to pile back into the carriage and ride it through, correct?
Yeah.
As you're heading through, you guys can see there are a large amount of displaced peoples here from the Empire that are attempting to set up some sort of a camp, whatever they can. You see tents, you see even a couple makeshift, really makeshift shacks. You see some people have used their carts as a means of it is like the focal point of this makeshift tent camp that they've made, and they've put up additional tents and tarps and things like that over and around the cart to kind of use it as a means of holding things up, holding the rest of it up. But there are a lot of refugees here, unfortunately. And you see all manner of families, and people, and things of that nature. You also see, as you guys continue on, a decently large presence of Zalezo and shore wardens that are a little ways away from the camp, that are almost like a little ways across the river, kind of not at the initial checkpoint itself, but kind of on the other side where there's not as much land to walk, seem to be conducting some sort of investigation. You see, even from this distance, you can see dried blood. Lots and lots of dried blood that looks like it's like a day, maybe like half a day old. You also see, as you move on further through this camp, there are infirmaries, people being soldiers, shore wardens, and Zalezo being tended to with these nasty wounds that don't necessarily seem like they are improving. If you had to take a guess, probably the work of Tarkus and his group. They probably passed through here before you guys. And they made quite an impact as they did. But as you guys continue on, in the distance, not too far from this little checkpoint that they have set up, you see Tosoa. It is basically a rural city, kind of situated in like a V formation that kind of sits on the river that goes through it. It is still, at this point, it'd be like midday, so you guys still have a decent bit of travel that you could do. Or if you wanted to stop in the city for anything, that is, the next city after this would be, if you guys are heading to, towards where you were told to go by Tarkus, the next city would be Gwardan, which is, he basically told you Nature's End is past Gwardan. So this would be the second to last stop on your journey if you guys wanted to stop here. But if you don't want to stop here, you can just head on through if you'd like.
Is this like how nice of a city is Tosoa? Like, are they gonna have like?
Roughly, it holds roughly like 15,000 people. You see a lot of humans. It's not anything crazy. Like I said, the whole city is situated in like a V formation. You can also see a couple lumber mills that are on the outskirts of it, kind of things you guys would have passed. See people coming back and forth, kind of using the river to transport logs and things like that as well. That, if you had to guess, is probably their main export here. Also see a couple people fishing and things like that. It is a rural city for is how it is described. It is, bustling fishing city of lively docks and hardworking populace. So you're not going to find like super crazy lavish things here, but it would, if you want to restock on basic things, be a good place to stop.
I don't know. I would appreciate it if we could stop by like someone that makes armor, like leather armor.
Did Cordelie tell anyone that she was from here?
Oh
She
no,
is
that's
she is not
Nick's.
from here. That was
Nyx.
Nyx's home.
Yeah, I
That's
was
why
gonna
she was
say.
saying my home.
My
Corley's
very
from
first scene.
Druvenloot, which is the place you guys escaped.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry, I should have made that clear. No, it was Nick's.
You're good.
I was like, that would be a cool twist if you're actually from here and like then grew up somewhere else.
Oh, I would have not just like revealed that in chat.
I know.
Everybody quickly type all your character secrets, and I've written the worst things about your character in chat. Yeah, give me 1 second. I will be right back. Let's take a quick 5-minute break though, as we're entering the city real quick. Be right back.
Okay.
So picking up from there, you guys are entering Pessoa. A couple of you said you wanted to go to what shops? You were looking for something?
I didn't know if they had anything like any place armor wise that would be nice. That maybe sells some medium armor. I mean, I don't know how big exactly this town is. So.
Yeah, and
It is a bustling fishing and logging town. You imagine they probably wouldn't have anything like maybe not a blacksmith or like, you know what I mean? Like not anybody geared towards making armor or whatever for adventurers.
Yeah. I'll just wait till we're in there.
Okay.
Aglar is very excited to be in a place like this where he's going to search for somewhere where they might be selling rations made from fish.
That is easy enough to do. You don't even have to search. There are many stalls, and you can tell there are even ones that specifically are set up to be geared towards tourists, as they're kind of waving people down as they enter, and especially your group, trying to charge with your high intelligence, trying to charge probably double the price of what they normally sell it for, because you're a tourist. You kind of circumvent around those people and go further in, and you find some more of the honest businessmen, and you are able to absolutely get yourself some rations that are just readily prepared fish of all sorts. Not just
and
fish.
I'd like to...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say I want to get like a fresh fish meal too while we're here. Just that's probably...
Absolutely. So, I don't know how much rations say they cost per day. It should tell you when you go to look it up. But for the fish meal, you can go ahead and subtract 4 copper from your inventory. But both the rations and the meal are very well prepared, very quickly. And like I said, it's not just fish from here. It's also, slightly imported fish from further into the Menagerie Coast, from the actual ocean itself, which you guys are relatively close to, but you're not 100%, you're not terribly close. You can smell this, you start to smell like the salt on the air, and you can tell you're probably a day or two travel from it. Okay, Aglar, you were able to get yourself a very wonderful meal and some rations. Anybody else doing anything in particular? You all have been traveling for a while. You wouldn't necessarily have had... Well, no, that's not true, because Malin and all of them were packing before you guys left for the ball, so they would have had a couple hours to pack food and everything. So you're not hurting for food, but
I am gonna use my feature for my background to just try and get some information on how things are around here. I think because Calda doesn't really know what she's going into, that might be something she'd try and do.
Okay. What is the feature called again?
From your time as a merchant, you retain connections with wholesalers,
Okay.
suppliers, and other merchants and entrepreneurs. You can call upon these connections when looking for items
Gotcha.
or information.
I was just asking what the name of the feature was, because I know there's a couple that let you have connections and stuff, but some of them do slightly different things. But fair enough. Yeah. So with your time from that, you're able to sort of approach some merchants. Maybe you went with Aguilar, or you're not really looking for fish sellers or fishermen or loggers. You're more looking for the merchants. Eventually, you come across a quaint little shop that's called, or actually not a shop. You see there is a ferry. It's called the Tyoden Ferry. Um, you see it's manned by this kind of bandana wearing old timer, who is just at the moment doesn't seem to have any passengers. Is just kind of situated. You imagine somebody that is transporting people back and forth, refugees and the like, has heard a lot of rumors, and similar to like a taxi driver in this day and age. So you kind of approach this individual. He basically conveys to you that the influx of refugees from the war, from the Empire, has been pretty decent for business. It's sad to see, but at the same time, it's kind of bolstered, the businesses and especially on places like Tasoa, where people are passing through to get to the bigger cities like Port Damali, Nicodranas, and things like that. Um, it has certainly bolstered it quite a bit.
Right.
But he also says there have been a couple issues around here as of recently. Specifically, in the dead of night, there was a large group of monsters that seemingly. I'm sorry, my cats are flipping the fuck out behind me. They're like literally somersaulting through the air, doing like fucking cartwheels. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. So sorry if you hear any noise from that. But he tells you of like more or less this large group of monsters that just carved their way through the checkpoint, like the weakest part of the checkpoint, and then just like they didn't even stop. Anybody that was in their way, civilian, soldier, or otherwise, they just cut down and kept it moving. They weren't even in a hurry. They were just like brisk pace walking through just a trail of slaughter. And he kind of points on the far side of town. And tells you that they kind of passed along that small stretch of land that is difficult to maneuver, but they were just like single file line, all moved along the kind of coast of this river on that side. They killed the soldiers that were in their way at the checkpoint on that portion, and killed a couple fishermen. And they even presumably kidnapped a couple people because there was a couple bodies or people missing. And they just kept it moving.
Any news of the family? And she gives her surname.
You're giving him the T-Cloak name, or
Yes.
okay, you're asking if you've heard anything about your family.
Yes.
You relay to him that you're from Pride's Call. I don't know if maybe I didn't make this clear, but you guys actually passed Pride's Call. You guys were trying to quickly leave the Empire, so I imagine you wouldn't have made a pit stop in a very populated city that was, from what you guys saw from a distance, heavily defended or fortified, presumably due to the war. But he kind of just thinks for a moment. He's like, "No, I can't say that I've heard anything about a tea club, but Pride's Call. I mean, there's some strange things going on there. There's a new guild head that's been sort of renegotiating contracts, and When I hear people are having a really, really hard time getting less pay for much more work, and it's almost borderline slavery from what I hear. There's some sort of legal loopholes or something going on, but it's so far removed from what we do down here. I don't think too much about it. I just hope the folks can get out, or if they can't, flee and come down to the Menagerie Coast.
Well, thank you for the information, friend. And she like holds his hand and puts an electrum piece in it.
An electrum piece?
Yes.
Did I give you guys any electrum?
No, but I like have been like making the breaking
wait.
the cup coins when I
I
buy
do
I
stuff.
have
don't know if I
electrum.
even. I
Yeah.
don't think
think you-
electrum's even in this setting.
I think
Okay,
you gave
then-
us an electrum
You gave us
piece. It was in the
electrum.
module.
I had 5
Yeah.
in my inventory.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I also
did
have
I?
a couple.
It's
Yes.
probably from the module. So anyway, an
Oh,
electrum piece
it's
goes
from
into
the
his hand.
module. He kind of looks at it and holds it up. He's like, I don't really know what this is.
It's a coin. It's like half a gold piece.
Oh, okay. He just takes it. Thank you kindly.
No problem.
Yeah, I was like, when the fuck did I give them electrum? I was like, oh, the
It's actually a
module.
very toxic metal.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm
Poison
dying.
Mercury be upon you.
Whoa, Mercury be
Whoa.
upon me. All right. So, Galdo, you got some information. Aguilar, you got some food. Anybody else doing anything into Soa?
I look for some to sell one of the things in my, I want to sell the silver weapon that I have.
Okay. Like I said, there's not really any blacksmiths or merchants here. There is one. The one that you find is a shop called Some for the Waves. It is. This seems to be in a simple adventuring like gear shop, and it also specializes in like nautical adventuring gear and some nautical potions. More or less things that you would use for if you were going on like deep sea diving, or going on like a fishing trip or going into deeper waters. But if you wanted to sell it, they probably give you like half the price of what was listed. Does it have a price associated with it?
I don't think so, but I think silvering a weapon is 100.
It is what?
Is 100? Let me see.
100. Okay, just look up how much a maul is,
Yeah.
because it's the silvered maul, right?
Yeah. Silvered weapons 5e cost. Yeah, 100 GP for that maul. Is 10 GP.
The maul is.
That's yeah.
So that'd be
that's
110 total. Okay, so you would get so it'd be 55 gold is what what they would offer you for it.
Yeah, you'd take it.
All right. Nice little thing. Yeah, you certainly don't need that anymore when you have the sword of wounding. I mean, unless you wanted to hold on to it.
No, it's good.
Does he still have Trusty Rusty?
I still have Trusty Rusty, and Trusty never leaves,
When in
Just
doubt,
making sure.
pull out Trusty Rusty.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But you guys continue on. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary after you initially leave town. You guys are sort of heading down towards the portion of the map where it's going to break off. At this point, you guys, when you guys reach it's called the Tyoden Byway. It sort of breaks off from the main path that leads down to Port Damali, which is the capital of the Clovis Concord. Leads the actual coast. Let me just repost that map real quick, because I kind of want to show you guys again where you're more or less at and where you're heading. Let me see here. Here we go. General chat. There you go. So you guys are following the Copia Lake down. And once you reach you see Tosoa there, which is where you just passed through. And yes, I know I took a screenshot of the map. I just did a quick thing. So that's why it's pixelated. You can see what it says. The Tyoden Byway is basically where you guys would depart with Lord Remem. If you guys want to go all the way to Palmaflora with him, you can, but you guys leave Tosoa, and you imagine the next day is when you will be most likely departing or breaking off from Lord Remem and his group as they're heading to Palmaflora, where he says apparently they have some sort of summer home there. But beyond that, as you are all bedding down for the night, one of the moments that you are on watch quarterly.
Yes. I did not expect my name right now.
So that's the best time to do it. Totally get you. One of the moments you're on watch with whoever else it may be. Who do you want to be on watch with? Pick anybody.
I'm gonna pick Aguilar.
Okay. You're on watch with Aguilar. And after a little bit of just keeping an eye out, Aguilar is kind of doing his own thing off the side. The small talk or whatever it is you guys were doing is kind of died down for a moment. You guys are tired, even though you haven't been exerting yourselves the past 3-4 days, give or take, or like 3 days. There hasn't been any fights or anything. It's still a long journey. The road makes you tired, even if you're just in a carriage. You do have the horses. You do have the horses to take care of as well, which I should. I mean, they probably would have bought rations for the horses as well, but there might be a small fee that one of you guys might need to pay. Lord Remem would have prepared for it. He's used to long journeys. He would have bought the rations for the horses, but you're not really paying attention, doing anything in particular. You might be messing with your book or anything like that. As you're kind of looking at the book, you feel a chin of somebody rest on your shoulder. It kind of instinctively makes you jump for a second. You kind of look out of your peripheral and you feel like a hand kind of clasps your opposite shoulder as you look and you see Fiona kind of peering down at the book. Enjoying the gifts that I've given you.
She would jump back. She'd be like, "Whew, you could announce yourself, No need to sneak in like that."
Are you doing this in front of Aguilar, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering the same thing.
Okay. Aguilar, you look over. Cordelie's talking to nothing. She's talking to air. You see, Fiona looks to you, Cordelie, and looks slow, like kind of smiles and raises an eyebrow and looks over towards Aguilar. As you follow her gaze, you just see, I imagine Aguilar looking at you weird.
She'd be like, "Spiders," and she's like acting as if she like steps on a spider to kill it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just go back to what I was doing for now. Gullible.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying she made an excuse or whatever, so I just went back to whatever I was doing.
Okay. Sorry, the cats ran out of the room, so I quickly got up and closed the door behind them as they ran out. I was like, I'm done listening to this shit.
You're good. I was acting as if I'm talking to spiders and just like be like, "Oh, spiders," and then I stepped on them.
She looks to you after Aguilar kind of turns away, and she goes, "Wow, clever," kind of sarcastically. But she just starts to like kind of walk around you, as she begins to talk, kind of running her fingers lightly on like your like shoulder as she's just kind of like circling you. You've grown quite rapidly. I only gave you a little bit of my power, and yet your sheer force of will has been enough to amplify it, if you will. Here you are, blowing up entire forests with a mere flick of your fingers. Such an asset to the group.
She's like whispering now, doing my best.
You may be doing well for them, but I do not believe you are doing your best for me. That is where the problem arises. There's a few things we need to discuss.
Can we do them over there? And she's like looking to Aguilar. I gotta go to the loo. I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. Be careful.
Yeah, thank you. She's walking like in some kind of bush, I guess. Or behind a bush.
Incredible.
You walk over to like a bush, just kind of out of the way.
Elf master.
Yeah, for sure.
You see she like disappears for a moment. You go over to the bush, and
Disadvantage.
as you sit down, she's like leaning on a tree, arms crossed, kind of next to where you are as she speaks. You still haven't given me what I have asked.
Well, can explain that. We've just been traveling, but I will still do it. I just need to find the perfect person for you, you know? Like I cannot just get anyone, right? Like it's got to be someone worthy.
There are many in your group that would suffice, and yet you have not approached them.
Well, they kind of have their gods, you know, pretty religious people already. So does it have to be one of the group? You did not specify that.
I do not care who it is. It is to be someone that is suitable. And it is not up to the whims of fate to bring them to you. You are to seek them out.
Yes.
You see she holds her hand in like out in a ball, and she's like, You seem rather distant from your father as of late. I imagine something happened, but
She's like looking back just to make sure that no one is listening in. Well, he told me a few things. Well, he did not tell me a few things, but I meant to talk to you once he's gone. You were working with my mother.
you see she kind of like pauses and like lowers her hand. Like she was about to do some sort of demonstration, but lowers her hand and kind of tilts her head. You two have been chatting quite a bit. That is another thing I was confused about. Where did you go on the evening before your abode burned down? You disappeared entirely for a couple hours.
What do you mean? I thought you were always there.
I will be honest with you because it is important in this agreement because we are honest with one another. My power was always with you, but it is only a fraction, a piece of a fraction of what I have to offer. what you are talking to right now is is not Fiona. It is your interpretation of her, what your mind is able to grasp onto, what your powers have manifested into. And they will continue to grow if you do what is asked of you. But, Quarterly, surely you did not think you were worthy enough to stand before the Lady of the Fourth as equals.
I mean, that can change.
Her
Right?
face immediately drops and says, "You are nothing compared to me. You are insignificant. I will snuff you out if you try to compare yourself to me again. You are a lost schoolgirl using my powers. I am a ruler of one of the layers of hells. Watch your tongue, or I will have it." And you feel her
That's not-
tongue start to like tingle and steam a bit.
That's not what I meant. But yes, mistress. Well, to answer your question, we were at a party. It was like a ball.
Oh, where?
There was this place called it was a coast, the Jade Coast.
Who was hosting the party?
It was this ring. Oh, what was the name again? I forgot the name.
Theo's ring.
Theo's ring. Oh yeah. It was this ring called Theo's ring. Yeah.
You see her expression kind of twists into like a sour look, and she's like, "Ah, those meddling fools. Gambling when they should be doing something productive. I should have guessed." Well, what did you find there? Something significant has changed. Your power has bolstered and shot up, quite honestly.
She like turns very nervous at this point, even more than before. Well, I found an old acquaintance, and this person told me that my mother was working for you.
You wouldn't be happening to talk about a certain fire, Genasi, are you?
I mean, yes.
He like walks over to you and seems to grow much larger in size until you are just an insignificant thing. And she like leans down to look at you, fire burning in her eyes, and she says, "That woman weaves lies. She is deceitful. She hides from me because she knows when she expires, her soul will be mine. The next time you see her, you will bring her to me."
I mean, I would, but
Watches the large clawed hands. It is like holding a newborn kitten's head in like a basketball player's hands. As she just grabs the both sides of your head, and you are just locked in place, looking at her. You just stare into the infinite, stretching fires, the fires of the hells, as she just gets close to you, and you can just feel the heat radiating off her. You're just starting to sweat. It's like opening an oven and just sticking your face there, being held in place. And she looks to you and says, "Bring her to me."
yes, of course. I will bring her to you.
She lets you go, and in a flash, she kind of turns back to the way she was and just kind of smiles and says, "Good. glad we were in agreement.
Yeah.
Now, on to the other matter. She holds out her hand again in that, like, kind of balled up fist.
Oh, Lord.
My patience grows thin. I told you when we began this agreement, so long as you know who is in charge and you stay in line, we won't have any problems. I'll give you everything you need to accomplish whatever you want. But this agreement goes both ways. We wouldn't want old wounds to fester now, would we? And he watches the balled up fist, she kind of slowly opens it up, and you hear your father off in the camp start to like cry out in pain in his sleep. As she shows her hand, it looks similar to the wound, the glass shard that he took to the gut that you called upon her to heal. As she just kind of splays her hands out a bit, and like you watch like blood and fire just starts to drip out of her palm before she, like, he's just actively yelling, Aglar, you hear this. You and the rest of you start to wake up a little bit as you just hear Lord Mem is just like writhing in pain in his bedroll.
Yeah, I will find someone. I promise.
Find someone soon.
Yes,
Very soon.
of course.
He watches all at once. She puts her hand back into a fist, and the yelling kind of subsides for a moment. Aglar, are you going to investigate the yelling?
Yeah, for sure.
You like go over and you see Lord Mem is like in a broken out in a sweat, clutching his stomach. You can see a portion of his clothes look like they're like stained with a little bit of blood and kind of scorched with fire a bit. And he kind of looks down and looks up. He's like, I'm not too sure what happened. I just woke up in an immense pain. I think I'm okay now, though. I think it was the wound from when that explosion went off in Juvenload a while ago. It's been slowly healing, but it's been bothering me a little bit as of late.
All right, well, can I look at it? Do you mind if I check and see if it's okay? I mean, have you
By all
rolled
means.
onto it in your sleep, or okay?
I'm not too sure. Now go ahead
I'll
and make
just
a medicine check if you'd like to examine it.
yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I rolled a 4.
Okay. You see this, like, it looks like, I mean, exactly what it is. It's just this gaping kind of scar where it looks like a large shard of glass was dug into him. And it looks like it's been like cauterized. It doesn't look like it's open, but you can see, judging by his clothes, it looks like as of recently it probably opened again. It just seems unnatural, and you don't really have as much expertise with medicine as some of the others do, as it is. So you're not too sure, like, it's unnatural. You're not too sure what you're looking at.
All right. Well, just be careful. Try to stay off of it, and if anyone else woke up, I'll just tell him. Reassure. It's fine. He's fine. He just rolled over onto his scar and opened it again, but he seems fine.
You hear all this commotion over there, Quarterly, and you look back to her, and she's like I said, finishes putting her hand into a fist and then lowers it. Do not keep the devil waiting. With a smile, just flash of fire, and she is gone.
Cardley would take a deep, would not take a deep breath, but would like start breathing again, I guess, because she probably held her breath the whole time. She would fix her hair because I think she grabbed her head, right? Like,
You go to fix your hair, and it's not messed up or out of place.
um. Okay. She goes back. She's like, I heard something. Everything okay?
Oh yeah, it's fine. It seems your well, some of your father's wounds still haven't healed yet. He thinks he might have rolled over onto it in his sleep or something. It was looks like it
Oh.
was bleeding a little. I'm not sure if
Uh, gotta be careful.
yeah. Well, I told him to try to stay off of it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who's a little more adept at this could take a look at it and make sure it's not infected. It looked fine to me.
Do we have anyone that could do that?
Maybe
It
not
is it is
now
fine.
necessarily,
Um,
but
If something else happens in the night, then we can get it inspected. But it is fine for now. I think I just rolled over on it and had something happen. It'll be okay.
Great-o, Daddy-o. Okay. I'm so tired. I think we should wake up the next watch.
oh,
You know,
Quarterly,
it's-
real quick. I've been working on something over here. It's well, you've been squishing spiders, and I noticed you've not quite been yourself lately, and I know we haven't really much talked about it, but with losing your whole childhood home, and you showed me that beautiful
Yeah,
garden for your mother, and I thought maybe the loss of your home was weighing on you and your connection to her. So here, I thought maybe this would help. I'm gonna hand her like this little necklace thing I've been working on, and it's going to have I've been magically tinkering with it so that it's got like the little, almost like a glowing emblem of one of the flowers from the
Oh my
greenhouse
god.
on it. So here, so that maybe you can't visit the greenhouse anymore, but you can still have her with you always.
She would just look at you and like I think she would break out crying. She would just fall on her knee and just be like, "Oh my god, this is thank you so much," and she just like very dramatically just cries. This is so nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Did I get the flower wrong? I'm not.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Rune, and the rest of you
Ugh.
start to wake up from the other commotions that are going on. But Rune, you look over and you see Quarterly holding like a beautiful trinket that seems like Aglar has crafted her. She's
Wow.
crying.
Rub the nerd in.
Yeah, rub that in.
But she would cry and she would like laugh and be like, "It's happy tears, but is it really happy tears? Like happy tears are not that dramatic." But yeah, she would cry. She'd be like this.
Yeah, definitely a much stronger reaction than Aglar was anticipating. So I'll go wake up the next watch then. All right.
Bye. This is so nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go get whoever's next.
Alrighty. You all get you all get a long rest, and you wake up in the morning. It's a beautiful day. Like I said, smell the salt on the air. You're close to the shore. It isn't called the Menagerie Coast for nothing, so it's quite beautiful. But is anybody in particular doing anything before you set out for the day? Just packing yourself and heading on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Rune's
would
just
put on the
been
necklace, I
very.
guess.
She's been
Okay.
very quiet since the day she kind of lost it. Just kind of.
Yeah, I want
keeping to herself.
What's up?
I was gonna practice maybe some of the new stuff I've learned. So, Since I've been studying and tinkering and stuff, I want to just work on casting an alarm spell by ritual before we leave here,
Okay.
and just leave
You-
it on the place. I'm not really even caring necessarily where I've done it. It's more like for the purpose of practicing ritual casting it.
Mhm.
So I just want to do it successfully. I don't necessarily just wherever we were sleeping or whatever.
Yeah. You are quite an intelligent individual, and it is a low-level spell that you are not expending an energy on. You're casting it ritually, so it is very easy for comes easily to you as you've worked hard to accomplish such a thing. And after 10-ish minutes, the alarm spell has been placed and put in place.
Noise.
Kind of just leave it there, and might come
Yeah.
in. You kind of did it as an aside, but it might if anybody is
Yeah, I
following
had a
you per se.
slightly ulterior motive here too. So casting of the ritual alarm spell sort of gives Aglar kind of like, you've all seen him have that kind of like electrical current around him in battle. He gets something similar, but it's a little bit of like a shimmer on his armor as I now have an arcane ward.
I just said you
I know, that's actually so unintentional, but that's the way it's supposed to look, so.
Again,
That's
we
so-
reinforce the
Okay,
ideology
Edward.
that Aglar is
Okay.
Edward and Ruin is.
Anyways, so I
Yeah.
gained, so I
I
have
just said-
Arcane Ward with some temporary hit points.
I gotta carve you like a saber-toothed tiger little trinket now. really? It's
That was
really
the
like-
perfect timing, really. Just when you said that, I was sure.
Yeah,
Oh my god! But
Just
I'm not
falling
like
apart.
Bella whatsoever. Like I'm the opposite of her.
Oh, really?
if
What do you mean?
anything.
He's a bookworm. What do you mean?
Okay, but she's so fucking. Oh my god, I love that picture so much. She's so It's like Bella is like, I don't know, no emotions, and Cordelia is only
It's true.
emotions.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
This is so good.
really
I love
fun.
it so much. Oh god, it's such a good picture.
Um,
All right. Did you have something you wanted to include, Bacon?
I was thinking for a second. Where's Calda right now?
Oh, he's gonna riz up Calder now?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not
Where's-
yet.
No,
Where's
read the
Calda?
script. That happens in episode
She-
20.
She's
Exactly.
snoozing.
Oh.
She's being lazy. She didn't like having to teach Cordelia how to like drive the horses, and she seemed very. She had a lack of gratefulness about the whole ordeal.
No.
It was 2 days ago. Was it really that bad?
Yeah, Calda's trying to be nice, and it just didn't work out, so she's being grumpy.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
I don't
guess
know
I-
why I try anyway.
I just looked at us all. Sorry, I keep looking at general chat.
It's funny.
Yeah, I guess Jakar goes over towards Calda and tries to wake her up for a second.
What? What is it now?
Right. Just want to ask,
What are you asking, Jakar?
would you like to take a walk with me for a bit?
Sure, why not? It's who knows what time of the day. She like rubs her eyes and kind of.
This would be while you guys are on the road, I imagine, if you're departing or just getting ready to depart. So
Yeah.
Listen,
morning.
my morning is when I wake up. Mystical voice in the sky.
Calder takes 20
Anyway.
points of psychic damage.
Okay. And I think Jakar's got to look for a small sort of like clearing anywhere. Maybe like a bit further away from the group if possible.
Calda's thinking to herself as they're walking there. This is how I die.
Yeah.
He just has to go boopy.
And as they get towards like a proper place, Jakar's gotta just say, You have a weapon on you?
Well, yeah, why? And she, like, just points at her scabbard, which has the rapier of warning in it.
Take it out.
She does so?
Alright. He takes out Aaron's sword.
I don't like this. For the record.
The rapier starts to glow.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Jakar smiles. And he looks towards you and says, "Just friendly sparring. Give you your best shot."
You... you Andrew. Alright, okay. She does, like, her starts to do her little battle dance thing. Closes her eyes as she approaches you and tries to make a strike on the weapon.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay.
Hit on Jakar or hit Jakar?
That is 14.
Does a 14 hit you, Jakar?
No?
Okay. You go to close your eyes, kind of mimicking that same thing you did with Rune. And you raise your rapier and you strike, and he just kind of barely dodges out of the way.
Was there a point you're trying to make? I'm missing it here.
He stares at you and narrows down his eyes, and he sort of like judges your stance. You're good. It's crazy how good you can get in just a short amount of time. So,
I don't claim any of it for myself. I think this is all part of that prince, maybe. Who knows for sure?
I just wanted to see it for myself. You think you can knock some sense into me if that happens again? You know, what happened the other day?
Well, Jakar, as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna keep trying until I'm dead. She smiles, but it's like
Hmm.
she's trying to fake it till she makes.
One more with feeling. And he's going to, brace again. Come on.
Okay. You're focusing on dodging, or are you just keeping your normal stance?
I'm gonna keep my normal stance.
Okay. Are you attacking him again, Calder?
Yeah, yes, nicely.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
Nice. Hit on him.
It's the same number again.
Another
Roll a
14.
7. Yes.
Okay. Again, just barely misses Jakar. But you imagine if it hit, it would have hurt a decent bit. The strikes
Yeah.
are. It's less about, she seems hesitant to attack you, which is good. But it's less about making contact in this thing and more about seeing how she handles the sword, and she handles it quite well. And pretty much in the same way that you've seen Rune handle her swords whenever she swaps to melee. So
I just wanted to make sure again. Tarkus says something about a trial.
A trial?
Yeah, that trial.
Who is this guy, by the way, Jakar? Why do you care? This Tarkus fella. Who is he to you?
You might have answers.
He seems like a bit of a dick, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure he is. I mean, he did kind of forced us to go feral the other day. So,
And you trust his answers?
I mean, he could have fought us right there and there.
It's true.
So there could have been some sort of, I don't know, code? No, maybe he's just playing with his food. It kind of pisses me off, to be honest.
So you don't trust him, but you want your answers from him. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I got your back. She smiles and sheaths the rapier.
There you all continue on. Begin traveling for the day. Your newfound appreciation of Calda's abilities and your continuing confidence in your own abilities, Calda. It's even if the ring has given you this power, you are able to utilize it very effectively. But as you guys continue on, eventually you reach the Tyaden Byway, as I posted on the map, and eventually Lord Remem kind of motions for the carriage to stop, and he looks to all of you and says, if you're going to Gwardan, then you'll need to head west. We'll be heading further south. So I suppose this is where we will part ways for now.
I would walk up to my father and also open the book, hold it towards him, and say, "We can stay in contact to make sure you're okay."
He kind of says this a little bit lower so the others don't sit here, and he says, "Is that truly what you wish, is to make sure I'm okay?"
She actually thinks about it for a second. And she just holds out the book again. She doesn't say anything, but she holds it out again so that he writes his name.
How many names do you have in there right now?
2. I only have Lumen and Jakar.
Okay, so
he
he's
can
the third
write it
one?
down. Yeah, he's the last one.
He will,
I mean, I can always erase one, but yeah.
He'll kind of look to the book, look down to his gut where the wound was, sigh. He'll pull out a writing utensil and very deftly sign his name. Just very professionally, as it solidifies into the book. To think I spent my whole life trying to keep you as close as possible, and now we're going to be pen pals.
If you love something, you gotta let it go, right? Isn't that what they say in the lectures?
His face looks a little bit grim for a second, but he just kind of reaffirms the look and forces a smile. You swear you see a glint of tears welling up in his eyes for a moment, but he just kind of gives a firm nod before he turns to the rest of the group. I sincerely hope you are all up to the task that I've paid you for. Protect my daughter while you run off on whatever adventures you may find yourselves.
Rune will kind of lock eyes with him for a second, just like a knowing look when she says, "Like I said, I don't need to make a deal with you to do that."
That's so cute.
She's in good hands.
Is Aguilar not gonna say anything? Sorry, don't cut.
Yeah, Aguilar steps in front of Rune and says, "And I will be sure to protect her more." Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say he just does the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more stern.
He gives the
Aguilar
money
might
back,
be
actually.
awkward, but he's not that awkward.
No, it was a joke. It was
Goodness.
a joke.
He kind of nods and looks around, kind of looks to Lumen for a second, and looks back to Cordelia and says, "If any more of these Theo's rings show up on our doorstep, you will be the first to know."
I will try and check in daily.
I would sure hope so. Well, auf Wiedersehen, Packt. He kind of gives a
Tschüssi!
very später.
Man sieht sich. Yeah, sorry.
He will just give a formal bow to all of you, and his butlers kind of do the same to all of you as well. And he will turn and climb back into the carriage, as will the other two butlers. Malin will hop up into the seat, the driver's seat, and they will leave you guys on the roadside there, kind of departing. All right. You guys continue on afterwards, and feeling bittersweet, Probably safer for him to be away from you guys, but also you come to more or less enjoy his stubborn company. As you guys are traveling, nightfall starts to come, and you are traveling through the Taiwan Byway. This is path that just has many, many lush trees of the Copia wildwood, which you can see on the map, just along either side. It is starting to turn into, I believe it's the end of winter, going into more into spring. So, especially with the climate down here, the leaves are lush, and there's many greenery beyond the kind of canopy. It doesn't completely obscure your view of the sky, but beyond the canopy, you can just see the large kind of mountain ranges around you, and it is different from the Empire. You're not as worried about the war or things of that nature, but again, it's a brief moment you all kind of take to appreciate the beauty of Wildmount as it is. There are many ugly places, but there are many, many beautiful places as well. Towards about night, kind of when nightfall is coming, you guys are heading towards Gwardan. You find, as you're starting to make camp, you all kind of look and see a large group of individuals walking a little ways up ahead of you, but they're walking up or like into the mountain. You see roughly a group of 15 that consists of like what look to be commoners, some scouts, and several priest-like people. And they are moving pretty rapidly. You don't see anything you recognize or any individuals or emblems that look familiar at a glance. But it seems this large group is very quickly moving up into the mountain. Not like they're fleeing anything, but they do keep checking over their shoulders. Do you want to go investigate, or just make camp for the night and let it be?
We investigate, I think.
Yeah,
Nope.
can we keep an eye on them, see what they look like they're up to, or?
Well, they do head a ways up a little bit into the mountain, and they do. If you just stay where you are, they do eventually break line of sight. So if you all want to follow, you can.
Kind of like tap Jakar. Do you think they're afraid of us? They seem pretty timid.
I really wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, our company is a bunch of, we're not something you see on a day-to-day.
Should we go make sure they're okay, or see what's going on, or do you guys want to stay here?
I'd want to check them out if ever.
It could hurt.
It might hurt.
If you want, I could try and scout out a little bit.
I mean, I can also turn invisible and fly.
Oh, well.
That works.
Technically, if you want me to. I forget that I can do that sometimes.
I mean,
Maybe if you beat your wings quietly, you could try that first. And then let us know if we're needed.
Do like a signal, like a bird signal, if anything goes wrong.
Oh,
Or
I have
this.
I have something better.
Oh,
Okay.
Not gonna be something stupid, is it?
No,
You-
don't worry.
So you're casting invisibility on yourself.
Yes, I'm casting invisibility on myself.
Okay. Keep in mind, you cast it at the highest level available, so you could make one other person invisible potentially.
I think this is a little different because this is due to my background. Wait, what does shadow touched mean? I forget.
oh,
Is it a feat you
This
took?
is, yeah, I think so. It's a feat or something because I can only do it like once, but I can also only cast it at second level, which is a little bit weird.
Oh, yeah. It's just some feats will give you like a spell similar to that, where it's like, oh, you can only do it once and do it at
Yeah.
this Yeah.
I
Um,
think, because I've used that one before, I think Shadow Touched, you learn invisibility. So you can cast it like however you normally cast, but I think you get like
Sweet.
one free cast of it
Mhm.
at
let
level 2.
me look down.
Or,
Let me look.
Yeah, it's a
Shadow
little bit complicated.
touched.
It's a bit weird because it
Let's
doesn't
see.
even show me that I have a spell slot for it. But I mean, I know I can do it.
Here it says you chose disguise self.
No, I chose invisibility. I have disguise self as well and invisibility. I have two.
Did you take invisibility for legacy?
Shadow Touch should only have invisibility as an option, I think.
Let's see.
I have no idea. It gave me two options. I have both.
oh,
I
you
definitely-
learn the invisibility spell and one first level spell of your choice. It has to be illusion or necromancy. There you go.
Okay.
What he said.
Let me see the shadow touch. You
So I
can
think you
cast
get
each of
one.
these spells without spending a
Yep.
spell slot. Once you cast either of these spells in this way, you can't cast that spell in this way again. So you can also cast these spells using spell slots you have of the appropriate level. There you go. Okay, that answers our question. So are you casting it with the free casting, or are you casting it?
Yeah, free casting. I'm not gonna use one of my spell slots. Fuck no.
Okay.
I only
So-
have two.
You watch as Quarterly turns herself invisible in a flash of like this dark fire, and
Oh,
becomes.
Yep.
She seems like
Well.
gone.
It
Right.
makes it a little sound,
magic.
like a little fart. No,
Oh,
no.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna fly up high into the air.
Okay, you fly up pretty high. Just for this purpose of it, go ahead and make a stealth check for me, please.
Oh Lord.
Advantage?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, I was almost a 16. I'm it's a 6.
it cut out as I was like, ah.
Yeah,
That's
it
funny.
cut out.
It was literally on a 16, and then boom, it went to the 6.
6 total.
Yeah, 6 total. Sorry.
Okay.
It went to 3. I rolled a 3.
You fly up to the portion where you saw all these people go. You see a medium-sized lake. You see all of these people are gathering around. The people that are in the robes are gathering around this lake, and you see a couple. The people with the bows that seem to be the guards are not participating in this. They are keeping an eye out. You see as the people start to chant and
Huh?
and speak in a language that you don't understand.
Fuck! I have comprehend languages, but that's a ritual. Fuck.
Comprehend languages is only on writing that you can touch.
Okay, never mind. No fuck.
And as they kind of chant, you see the lake swirls and starts to take on this amber color. It's an amber color, and then in the center, you just see this like black pupil, this eye that kind of seems to apparate and blink a couple of times. And from this distance, you can hear them saying, they say, "Serpent who has provided our people with power for so long, hear our prayer." And you see one of the scouts kind of holds a hand up, and they all immediately stop and look to him. And he says, Do you hear that?
Oh,
And they all kind of look in the direction of you, but they don't see you. They just hear the beating of your wings.
While that all happened, I don't know if it's possible. Could I have, at the same time while looking at it, like written in my book to send message to Lumen?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have said, big lake, people chanting, huge eye came out.
It didn't come out of the lake. It just like the lake, the water turned the color, and like kind of like the water kind of
Okay.
like turned a color to show that there was like a eye, almost like it was like reflecting off of the surface of the water, but it's not actually apparated.
Okay, so water turned to eye.
Yeah.
Might be. What's this word? Like if someone saw me, there's like this one word. Might be. Yeah, compromised. I wanted to say comprehend, but that's word. Might be compromised. That's what you hear in your head. How many people do I see? Sorry.
15 total.
Oh, 15. How many of those are guards?
I will say 4 seem to be scouts.
Okay. 15 people, 4 scouts, rest cold? Question mark.
The rest are like commoners.
Oh, rest commoners. Okay.
The commoners are in like robes, like priestess, like priests. You imagine. You see 2 of which seem to be like priests as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe priests? I think
Yeah.
that's
So you got
almost
like
everything.
four scouts, two priests. The rest just seem to be like commoners in robes.
Okay. I think that's about 25 words, though. Like, I would just. Yeah.
You can send it an infinite number of times.
Oh yeah, right.
You could just keep sending over and over and over again. You don't. That's how crazy that
25
is.
word sentences.
Yeah, 25 word sentences.
Send it in 25, or 25 one word.
Lots.
But yeah, I would
of
basically just convey what I'm
people-
seeing and saying that I might be compromised. They
Okay.
might have seen me because they're
Lumen,
looking towards me.
you immediately recognize without a roll. She says "I" and people chanting and things like that.
Serpent.
She mentions the serpent, and you immediately know these are most likely worshippers of Ukatoa. Specifically, like with her, like kind of relaying it, probably Kinal is what the name of the people are. You know, there was a large worshipping of Ukatoa on the Menagerie Coast before it was outlawed and they were driven out and went back to hiding. But you also know that Ukatoa was made by Zahir, and now
It's his son.
yeah, it's seen as a they're not too fond of Zahir.
Okay, so he
Oh, so
would
it's
know all
people
that.
that
He knows
don't
he
like
doesn't
you,
like
or-
him.
Oh, I thought maybe it was people that are like you, but they don't like you. Is what you're
No,
saying.
so does Lumen know that Zahir hates Ukatoa?
Yes, you would, as being a worshiper, you would absolutely know.
And Lumen can respond to this sending, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sounds like a summoning that something I'm familiar with. This is a unanimous group decision, though. Should we come up? Deal with this or leave?
I would reply, you got 30 seconds to decide.
Look out for us then. I'll tell the others.
Okay.
He will tell the others. This is these are worshippers of a being called Ukatoa. A nasty thing.
Oh.
Corley gave us 30 seconds if we wish to deal with this.
Where is she?
Somewhere above them. She said she might be compromised, though.
Okay, and Galda like grips her sword and starts running off.
I could make us fairly stealthy, or are we just going in?
Did
as a
she
group.
indicate how in danger she was?
Do they seem hostile?
I did not say any of that, so you don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on what's happening in the meantime while you are talking to them. I could maybe try and send something else, but if they start attacking me, I cannot. Depends on what they're doing in these 30 seconds.
I think Call does the right of it. I think we should go up. It's just a matter of if we want to be stealthy or not. Should we just rush? Or try to sneak?
Sneaking
know,
is not for
Brandon,
me, so
how-
if you
how
want to
far-
decide.
What was the question?
Sorry, how far are we from them, roughly?
About half a mile.
Oh shit.
Lord.
Yeah, they, like I said, they headed further up into the mountain. You lost eyesight with them, and then Corley flew up there, so she was able to reach them much quicker. But you guys would be climbing up the mountain the way they did. So
Oh, Corley, I think we need more than 30 seconds. Run.
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
I know.
No, I'm just gonna start going up there. Just it's
Oh.
concerning.
I think 30 seconds later, I would message again. What did anything happen in those 30 seconds?
they are still at this point they're actively trying to look out and see where the source of the beating wings is coming from. Did you fall back at all, or?
Yes, I would fall back a little bit, but so that I still have like a little bit of line of sight of them.
Okay.
And I would say, message again, decision? Question mark.
Can I say right before she sends that, we should just go. Because yeah, if we're gonna be stealthy, the thing I can do to help, it would be all in on stealth. We wouldn't be able to see very well. So I say we just go.
I also message. If you're coming, they are looking for me. They are alert.
This is still to Lumen.
Yes, this is all to Lumen. I'm just talking to Lumen right now.
I think we're coming, and I think we're going to be fairly loud. So if you want to get yourself into a position where you can join us, I don't know how they'll greet us.
And try to lure them, maybe? Question mark.
Or a little bit of ways if you have something that could help our approach. Certainly.
Yeah. Let me check something. One sec. Okay, I can cast Eldritch Blast 120 feet away. How much is a mile? I don't know how much a mile is. Sorry, I'm not.
Much farther than that.
Yeah, I know. That's
2,640 feet away. Is that's how far away they are.
okay. Is that a thing? Can I try and lure them towards our guys? It's 44
Eldritch Blast has to target a creature.
Yeah.
And also, if you cast Eldritch Blast, you break invisibility.
Yeah, I know. I would. So my thought was, but maybe that would take too long because.
I mean, if you just want to fall back, you can. They know somewhere you're up there. And they've stopped what they're doing and they're looking, and you're relaying all this to them, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, but they can't see anything at this distance.
Okay, I'm gonna message in the book. Do we need to fight them? Do you know them?
I know of them, and they're not good news, but this is.
It's worth noting, Lumen. I need to clarify. There are obviously cultists of Uk'otoa. There are also, like the Key now, they were just normal people that were just trying to make a living, and Uk'otoa gave them the means. Like they just worshipped him. They weren't necessarily a bad people. They just worshipped they're like you. They just worshipped a bad god. These people you're not too sure, but you would know the Menagerie Coast does. Some people try to hold on to that heritage, that religious culture, even though it's been outlawed. So
Oh, so
these
technically they're
aren't
just
like
doing their thing.
they're not. Yeah, judging by what you're saying, and the eye is still there, and it kind of is like looking around, like it's just looking at them expectantly. It just kind of seems like a communion. It doesn't look like they're about to like summon something out of the water or anything, from what you can understand. And it looks like grim. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not like they're not saying like, oh, summon so we can kill the town or anything. Like they're just hanging out. They just seem a little
They're
nervous.
praying.
Yeah, they're praying.
Okay. So technically we can just
I didn't want you
ignore
guys to get the wrong idea to be like they're gonna kill the town, run in and slaughter them all. Like I just wanted to be clear. So
them. Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
This was still this was in a message. I think
What?
you just sent a message asking if we even need to do anything.
Yeah.
This is I'm of the group's mind. We can just leave.
Okie doke.
I mean, yeah, believe me, I don't have any duty to necessarily respond to whatever this is.
Just make sure
Right.
Cardley's okay.
Yeah, just come back to us. We'll
Yeah.
Okay.
make
On
a
my
final
way.
decision.
I would fly back.
okay.
We can
I
just
would dash 44 turns.
We could camp further away, maybe. Probably for the best now.
Yeah, they seem to be having a party. I had enough parties for a lifetime for now.
All right. You head back to the group. You're still invisible, right?
Yep.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Invisibility.
It lasts a bit.
Yeah, I think it's like an hour or something.
Well, here's the thing. She can use the book to cast sending, but I'm pretty sure she's still casting sending.
Is it? Because I'm
The
literally
spell
just having
ends
to
for a
write
target
into
that
the book.
attacks or casts a spell. What does the book say?
Oh. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Let's
Oh no.
see. Well, if I would have known that, I thought I'm just writing in the book and then...
What does the book say? What does it say specifically with that? Does it say you write in the
You
book
can-
and it?
Yeah, it says you can cast the sending spell targeting a creature
Yes,
whose name is
you
on the
cast
page without
the sending
using...
spell.
Oh.
Yeah, without
right.
using a spell slot and without using material
So
components.
as you're writing this in relaying, suddenly one of them
I
says,
think she would
"Up
know
there!"
that at the very least.
Oh.
Oh,
Right.
I throw a lot of bones to you guys. You got to read your character
No, that's-
sheets.
It's the first time
That's-
she used it. Maybe
that's
she's
part of the
learning that in
technicality.
character.
There you
All right,
go.
I'll throw a bone. Fine. You would know that if you were to cast all of those things. So quarterly, we'll just say for the sake of this, you got to a safe spot away, like out of eyesight of them, because you knew writing in the book would
Yeah.
turn you visible again. So
Yeah.
you're visible, but you've relayed all that information to everybody. Everything has transpired as normal. You just fell back a bit and went out of sight
Yep.
before you started casting.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know now. I thought I have to just write in my book, and that's not necessarily counting as casting a spell.
Yeah.
No,
and
it
I get
is.
what you mean.
Because even I wouldn't have thought that. Like, that's kind of a technicality.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's a
right?
third level spell that you get infinitely. Of course, you're gonna have to cast it.
Yeah, makes sense.
That makes sense. I get you.
Yeah,
I get
no-
you. I didn't think of that.
You're good.
Okay.
Okay, so you're returning to the group.
But I'm not invisible anymore.
Okay. You like touch down with the rest, and everything has been relayed. So what are you guys doing?
I guess we're
We should just camp, right?
move and
Keep
camp
an eye.
somewhere.
Okay. Fair enough. So you move a decent bit away to stay away from them and make a camp. I imagine you're not making a fire or anything, right?
Huge fire,
Huge
bonfire.
Bonfire.
yeah.
You make a thing of your own, a Zahir ritual that's even bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
We'll show
Exactly.
them.
Lumen, as you're walking away with the others and moving away from the thing, you feel your chain start to rattle a bit.
Uh-oh.
And you see, just kind of discreetly looking up at you, the chain kind of turns into a snake's head a little bit. And it looks between you and looks back at in the direction of the cultist, and kind of, it like hisses a bit and tugs at you, almost like a dog that's on a leash wanting to be unleashed upon the thing. Or what are you doing?
Probably something dumb.
We like them.
Good.
Are we setting up camp?
Yeah, so as you're walking away, that happens, and it seems like your snake is like, let me at him. It's basically, for lack of a better term. But you guys are walking to a different spot, a decent ways away to set up camp.
Okay. While they're setting up camp, he'll cast Veil of Dusk on himself,
Uh-huh.
and he'll try to slip away.
Okay. What does Veil of Dusk do?
Just gives it advantage on stealth checks for 10 minutes.
Okay, go ahead and make me a stealth check with advantage.
11.
Okay. Who here has a passive perception of 11 or higher?
I
I don't.
I think
I have
everybody
15.
besides Coralie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in a house that was very secure all my
Yeah.
life. I don't need to be very
Just like a dark blob, and just gonna like move into the tree line.
You all. It takes you a second, but you all quickly notice that Lumen has slipped away.
Oh shit. Did we lose him?
Lose what? Huh?
What?
Lumen? A whole person?
What do you mean? He's right there. Where is he? Where's Lubin?
Oh boy. I guess. You know what? Rune will try and follow. She's gonna go all sneaky beaky like.
Okay, roll me a
Do
stealth
I
check.
see that she's trying to sneak away?
Well, yeah.
Fine.
From you all.
We just form like a chain of people, one around on the other.
I just
Or
don't
Rune-
just
realize
Rune
ends
does-
up
you-
there
Rune does the-
alone.
Rune does the Skyrim crouch, and everybody's just like, must have been the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not hiding
Well,
from you all. You watch her like duck off. Oh, I'm ass 13.
13?
But she was
Okay.
just here. Where's
What
she?
is your passive perception, Lumen?
14.
Okay.
Oh no!
So as you're
Nice.
slipping away, you're like, okay, I think I'm pretty good. You're about halfway back to where I assume you're heading back towards that lake. You notice that Rune is trying to sneakily follow behind you.
I'm gonna sneakily follow up against Rune.
You notice that most of the group is trying to sneakily follow behind you. You have been
All
caught.
right, he'll
Let me
wait
roll
up.
for
He'll wait
stealth
up.
at
Where's
least.
everyone going?
Okay, so you wait up for them to catch up to you?
Yeah.
Are we all going?
The car's doing
I
the
guess
Kronk
they-
like
God,
Look,
she just kind of like.
I know that
straightens
was a
up.
look. I know that was a piss poor attempt at sneaking. I don't want to impose on the group.
Oh, I think it was great. I didn't even realize.
I just.
I think my. Well, nobody knows he has a snake.
Yeah, Lumen,
No.
what are you
Oh, no.
doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not. Nobody knows it's a big snake.
No one knows.
Oh my
some of us
God.
don't even know about
Lumen.
snakes.
You
Yeah, bro,
little.
they don't know about your
you
big
little-
snake, bro.
Yeah.
You're about to
He's a
show
grower.
them.
No one knows it's a
about
big
to show
snake.
these cultists what's up.
pull it out.
I think look, it's a lot to explain. I was just gonna go check. I'm feeling a draw of sorts. I know I just got done saying that I have no obligation here, but I do know this being that they're attempting to communicate with, and I just want to see what happens.
Okay.
Lumen, didn't you say this was a bad thing? Like,
It is, but it's if it's a projection of faith, then it won't necessarily doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead to bad ends. These people could just be searching for answers to something. Guidance of sorts. But I won't lie to you, I do feel a tug of sorts.
Are
I
we?
mean, Lumen, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a bad look to sneak away from everyone.
Well, I don't want to burden, overload
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
with terrible knowledge. Look, it's best just to get, I guess, suppose out of the way now. In the middle of these woods, I suppose. I'm a acolyte of Zahir. Quarterly knows, Jakar knows.
No, do I
This-
know?
Yeah, do I know what
It
Zahir
is,
is?
it is a big enough betrayer god that you would know. It is
Oh,
the cloaked serpent. It is assassins usually worship him, the
oh,
snake god, for
Quarterly's quarterly stunt back at the border. I think was a very successful attempt at getting them off by percent of that. Sure Zahir would have been very pleased with that. This being that they're attempting to commune with is an estranged creation, from what I understand, and legends say that it raised the coast in times past. Ukatoa, it's called.
Ukoto.
yeah. Do we know Ugatoa?
That's a funny name.
Yeah.
that's a lesser known deity. So if you guys want to roll history or religion checks, I'm sorry.
I figured. Let me see. Religion. Straight roll. 1.
No, you have no clue what Ukatoa is.
No idea.
Sounds like a type
Yeah.
of fish
do I know?
cuisine.
Yeah.
Roll a
Yum.
religion check.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's a 12.
No,
so,
you haven't really. You might have heard the name in passing. You're not too sure what it entails, though.
I mean, I know what Lumen told me, I guess. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
At,
want to check this out.
at the mention of Zahir, the room kind of bristles a little bit, but she doesn't say anything. So
Okay, so
you're not right?
someone want to explain what this is?
It's if you're referring to what that group was participating in, it's some sort of communion. It's a ritual of sorts. I was merely just gonna go take a look.
Here, I'm gonna go take a look with you.
I think
Okay.
they might be on guard, though. Are you sure that's all right? You have ways to hide yourself.
Back to the original plan, I could hide us all. The problem is it would limit our sight. Well, it would limit, I believe, everyone else's sight. I could see fine.
I mean, you're not gonna fight these guys, right? You're just looking.
No, I never got that far. I don't think I would fight them. I think I would run if it was anything hostile.
Insight, if I can. If I'm allowed.
I mean,
Not today.
Sure, go for it. Go ahead and roll an insight, and Lumen, you can roll deception or persuasion, your choice. You don't have to tell us which.
natural 20.
Oh shit. What did I roll? Oh, I have a decent insight, but I didn't roll good at all. 11.
Yeah, you seem. I mean, you believe his words. It seems like he's
Mm,
just looking to take a look, not looking to pick a fight.
She'll just kind of slowly nod and take a step back. Right, we'll be nearby, I guess. It wouldn't make sense for us all to go up if we won't even be able to see.
It's whoever wishes to come. I'm not trying to bar anybody. I was more just not attempting to burden. That's why I was sneaking off. It was
You
a
were
poor
sneaking
choice.
off?
I apologize. What was that?
Nothing. Sure. Why not? Yeah, you cannot go alone. I mean, we're all in this together.
And what exactly is your interest in this, Lumen?
Whatever exactly they're attempting to do. As I said, I do feel a pull of sorts.
A pull tied to Zahir?
I don't know what else it could possibly be.
Alright, so just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, you're an acolyte of a betrayer god who's wandered upon some kind of snake cult performing a ritual, and you think it's wise to sneak off and check this out yourself? I mean, am I the only one that thinks this type of
I mean,
whatever is going on here is not going to be good for Lumen,
No.
for us, for anyone?
I
When you put
100%
it like
see it like
that.
that, but
I was never going to admit that it was wise, but it is a charge of sorts. I'm sure you can understand that, Agler.
Ooh.
Well, these are the types of charges I worry about, frankly.
As
What
I
was
said,
your plan at all? Like, what did you plan when you went up there and found them?
to watch,
What if they see you?
to run.
What if they catch up to you?
Then there's a problem off of everyone else's backs.
Didn't you say they were looking for you, Cordley? How do we know they're still not?
I mean, they are probably alert.
What did you do?
Me? I didn't do anything.
You're sure?
I'm
You're
just not the
positive?
quietest when I'm flying, you know? Like, I need to flap the wings so the air is a little bit loud.
I see.
I'm not no assassin. I'm not used to this, you know? I tried.
No, you did
yes,
great.
real assassin.
Thank you. So nice of you to say. Was there, was there any irony in her voice? Oh.
Okay, so who's going with Lumen? Everybody?
I don't know. We're noisy all together and we won't be able to see. We can hang back. I don't think it'd be a good idea for us all to rush up there.
Calder's going with him.
Okay.
The Calder's the
She
loudest,
doesn't need
isn't
to
she?
see. Yes, she is. But she doesn't need to see.
Then I'll make this maybe a little bit easier on us. He'll drop Veil of Dust, and he'll cast Globe of Twilight.
Ooh,
It just
what's-
forms this is one of those Humblewood spells, so it's kind of loaded.
Okay.
It 15-foot radius. Basically, it's just a globe of darkness. So creatures I designate can have advantage on stealth checks, but have disadvantage on perception checks. Then
Okay.
anyone that's not designated, if they enter it, they could get blinded.
So yeah,
Okay.
Calder stays behind you with her eyes closed.
Well, you can see out of each of disadvantage. We have advantage on stealth. However, it's magical shadow, so I think Lumen can see out of it
Okay.
because he can
Badass.
see through magical darkness. It doesn't say it's magical darkness, though. It just said it's lightly. Oh no, obscured by magical shadow.
Okay. So yeah. All right. So you all huddle into this shadowy dome that Lumen casts over everything. As you all start to head up there, yeah, go ahead and everybody make a stealth check with advantage. If you have disadvantage, it cancels it out.
Boy.
8.
Oh Lord, I'm scared.
I really thought that clerics.
7.
We're all gonna roll ass.
I thought clerics just naturally got
Nat
past the better
1.
traits.
They don't.
Oh
22.
boy, guys.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
love
trick
this already.
predicting.
This is great.
Oh.
Sorry.
I feel like your class
92.
should have gotten it.
Oh Lord.
Your subclass.
They put these humble with spells in here.
Mm,
Quite a few of them.
I see. Okay. So we got 19, 8, 7. What else? Jakar, Aguilar?
22.
I rolled a nat 1.
So we have
Okay.
7, 8, 1, 19, 19, 22. Is that what we have?
Not bad.
The average is 12.6. So you round it up to 13.
No. Someone rolled a natural 1, so that counts as 2 fails.
Yep.
So
Let's
as
go,
you guys
everyone. Goom, gong, goom,
as you guys go to skulk around in the
Fucking armor.
yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. As you guys go to skulk around
I'd like to
in the
think that I like half did this on purpose because I think it's such a bad idea.
That would be amazing.
So good.
as you guys are skulking around, you all come up the hill, and you see more or less they've returned back to this ritual. You see the eye in the pond is just kind of looking about, and it's just a strange sight. You shrouded under this magical shadow that Lumen has put forth. You all see they're in the middle of this, kind of chanting. And you watch as seconds after you all sorry, I'm trying to edit the map as I talk. Seconds after you guys all flips the sort of hill here, you watch the eye in the center of the lake dart over and look at the dome, and its pupil gets like wider. And you watch as all the people follow its gaze and kind of squint a little bit and point over and say, "There's something there. It's a dark shadow. I can't see what it is."
Well,
Then I guess it's just time to be rather direct. Everyone else can follow the leader or whatever they have in mind, but it's just kind of toss at the moment. He'll drop the shadow.
Oh.
All right.
Lord.
Damn it.
I'm gonna shoot up
Yeah.
30 feet in the air.
oh. I didn't know we were fighting. I thought we were talking first.
Oh no,
I'm
no.
just-
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just flying.
It's intimidating.
Sorry.
Oh god, Brandon posted a map though.
Oh,
It's just for visual. It's just for visual, you know.
Yeah. It's only visual.
Look.
Yeah, when was the last time we went into a battle map and didn't fight?
Oh.
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay, this is a.
No, this is a conversational map.
Conversational.
He did also say 15 people.
Remember
This
last
is that.
time? You know, remember last time we were given the choice before on the battle map to like not fight.
Just
turn in one of
huff
those
them
choices.
all together, and I'm just gonna throw a fireball. They just need to all be very close to each other.
Oh, well, fuck. This is
Regular
bad.
villagers. We're just gonna kill them all.
Yeah.
What if
there
we
was
tell
a
them?
sanity meter?
What if we tell them?
Go
It,
down.
we tell them it's another inspection, and we pretend to be guards.
Everyone,
No.
put your hands up.
Wait.
This is an inspection
No.
for contraband.
Okay.
For the
As
culture.
as you all appear, Lumen, you're taking the lead here. Reportedly shoots up 30 feet in the air. You hear one of them say, "It's some sort of devil in the air. Watch out!" A couple of them
No.
knock arrows on. You see the scouts kind of knock arrows on their bows and aim up. You see the people on this side of the river. These two like heavily robed figures kind of step forward to the edges of the lake, and they put up a hand and say, "Who are you? Why have you come?"
We are admirers of
Oh.
your work concerning the Scourge of the Seas. Couldn't help but feel the drawl of what you were performing and wanted to admire it. At first from a distance, but the draw has pulled us ever more closer.
You're trying to say you're admirers?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll a deception check.
Oh my god, if you mess that up, I will kill you personally.
Only I rolled a natural 20 the last time, so what could I roll this time? An 8.
Oh, good.
That was great.
You see as the eye looks to you, Lumen, in the lake, and you all hear this disembodied voice that is just low, and it says, "Deceiver." And you watch as there's a gust of wind that blows your shirt, kind of like a heavy gust of wind that kind of blows your shirt a little bit, and your holy symbol kind of briefly displays itself. And you watch as these three here, they point and they say, He's a follower of the cloaked serpent. He a deceiver. And you see like people start to chat and get even more like scared and terrified. You see the two on this side, these priests, they kind of hold up a hand trying to calm down the masses. They're like, "Is this true? Are you a worshipper of Zahir?"
It is true. Yes. And he will, how does this work? He will activate the chain of the python and summon the snake.
Oh,
As
boy.
he says, it is true. Yes, you guys watch as he reaches around the chain that he has. He kind of like rolls his sleeve down. You see this chain that's around his arm.
It'll just mirror like what he does in the art that Corley made.
Yeah.
I kind of wave a hand and unravel it.
It unravels, and you see the tip of the chain turn into a snake head, and the rest of the chain starts to be less clanky and metal and more organic, scaly. As you see, for a moment, it just looks like a normal snake. But as it falls to the ground, it starts to grow in size. It gets larger and larger
Oh.
and larger still. And the rest of you, none of you have seen this before, as you see a huge snake that just apparates in front of Lumen. These people here have to literally like move out of the way. The one guy like falls back into the water, terrified. People have to move out of the way to make room for this massive, just monstrosity of a snake. It's just absolutely massive thing. And let's see, so that'd be large is 10, huge would be 15, I think. 15
What
would
the
be-
fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
As you just see this
Oh.
massive serpent that has that Lumen has summoned, and the eye just
Okay.
looks up to it, and there's just this like ethereal growl as it sees this.
Lumen will call out towards the eye and then the head people like orchestrating this. Your pathetic worm has quite the gall to call its father a deceiver. You all learn what happens when the father comes calling. What is going on here? What are you trying to accomplish tonight?
Oh fuck.
Is you see the priests even the priests seem a little bit taken off guard now. They're like, "We are paying fealty to our Lord for helping us through tough times. Many of us, we have lives that we live, families that we answer to, and we help those families, our loved ones, with the power that the Amber Eye grants us. So he gestures down to the lake. We are just trying to show our respect. You come here to desecrate it. For what purpose? Because your lord told you to? Because you can't stand to see anything nice in the world? There's a reason it's called a betrayer god.
Does he believe him?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an insight check.
25.
He seems. You look at him, and you more so look. You kind of get a read on him, but you look around at the faces. A lot of these people, some of them have weapons concealed under their robes. A lot of these people look terrified in the moment, and it is very. You kind of read the situation as they're kind of staggering back. A lot of these people are not fighters. They are just. They are worshippers. And what he says may ring true for them. But you see him and the one standing next to him especially. There is a bit of a sinister glare in his eye as he speaks. You imagine there is probably a layer of like initiation and being normal people being led into a life that they do not know they are being led into. They are here for one reason, and the man that is speaking and the one next to him and a couple of the others you see around are here for another reason entirely.
Those are words that probably ring very true in the ears of the common folk here, but you lie. You lie to these people. Tell them what you're really leading them into. What always awaits when you conspire in the shadows like this. That is his domain. That is why we are here.
He kind of seems a little bit taken off guard by the notion of you saying that he lies and stuff like that. He says, "Very well. I don't need to tell these people anything. I will show them. If it is a test of might that you demand, the followers of Ukatoa will not back down. Father and son clash as one, and we shall be the victors. Prepare yourself, deceiver." And you watch as the eye starts to glow brighter, and a bunch of the other people start to pull out weapons. You see the archers, the scouts especially, and a couple of the other people start to seem like they have no clue what's going on. A couple of the common folk, they just
Does
seem
Lemon
like...
have a moment to turn back to the group?
Yes, you do.
It's just those two had ones. The rest of them are innocent.
Gotcha.
As the serpent lets out this loud roar, this loud hiss, you see the eye in the center of like just flaming ever bright. You see these two across the way start to cast things. The people that are fists on the map, they start to like reel back and scatter. They just seem to be like commoners. And you watch a couple of the scouts here who seem like they were just hired guards also seem like confused and uncertain as to what to do. But the ones with the dagger emblems, they all reach into their robes and pull out these different weapons as they stand firm. I need everybody to roll initiative, but in doing so, that is where we're going to end our session.
That is why we're gonna end the session.
Oh, did you
I
say
will take
everyone else was like they didn't look like fighters,
The
or there are some of us?
They don't look. A lot of them don't look like fighters, besides the scouts, the little archer emblems. But even the ones in robes, that some of them don't look like fighters. They're still like pulling out weapons to like. They seem like inexperienced fighters, but they're still going to stand firm. But you see a
You
couple
said
of
that-
like the fist icons, especially like these like 4 ones. They seem like they want no part in it,
Oh,
and they are
let's go ahead.
terrified.
And you said that these two right here, it really just seems like they're leading the mass like astray.
Yeah, these guys are in heavier, more intricate robes, and immediately as the fight starts, it looks like they're about to start casting spells. They seem to be.
And everyone else
actual-
doesn't seem like they really know what's happening here.
The dagger guys seem like they know what's happening,
Okay,
but
that's what I was,
the
that's what I was
fist
asking.
ones and the scouts do not.
Lumen's just trying his best to point out who should be pacified, not killed.
Yes. Alrighty. Well,
Cool.
that was an encounter that I just threw in there. Didn't expect that to spiral the way it did, but that is going to be it's definitely going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show a brief little snippet of the map here while we're talking, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where that's going to lead next time, because it is quite literally a trial, a fight between father and son, essentially.
Oh
So
boy.
I'm glad
Damn.
you
He would've-
finally
he
get to
would've-
use the serpent, because this thing is
He
fucking
would have
cool.
ignored it. He didn't want to drag the party into it, but you put in that little draw, that little pull. It's like he's got to do it. Like,
Well, of course, Zahir's like, I want to go fuck them up. No, fuck them. Of course, he wants to go display his dominance. Of course. But yeah, sorry, the map is a little blurry. I just grabbed it in the heat of the moment. I was like, oh shit. I didn't expect it to turn into a combat encounter, but no, fair enough. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for playing.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
we
Thank
will
you.
pick up there next time. We'll see what fun awaits us. All right.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
See you guys
Take it
later.
easy. See ya.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.